It is not only the right thing to do, it is not only what is needed if we are to begin to truly provide equal justice for all, it is a fiscally sound investment.
I don't think that there is a greater investment that this country and this Commonwealth can make than investing in justice. Because without justice, what we see written on the front of the Supreme Court rings hollow. Equal justice under law is equal justice for all, not just equal justice for those who can afford a lawyer.
Things happen totally unexpected, and you think about all the income insecurity that we're experiencing in this country from the late 70s to today. About 80% of the population, their wages and their standard of living is stagnated or worse, dropped. An increasing number of people are falling into poverty, and circumstances arise that they just don't expect. You could be working in a job for 20 years and all of a sudden find yourself unemployed, and you lose your house, and then find yourself in situations that you couldn't possibly have imagined, and that then put you into connection and contact with the justice system.
When you start talking about the need for a lawyer or access to justice, people sometimes can't make the connection. And it's important for us to talk about what the impact of the funding is on real people and real people's lives.
Almost 50% of the people in Boston are living with 3 or less months of backup money in the bank. That shows that there's a significant problem, that we have people that could be in desperate need very quickly.
I remember the first time I walked into a courtroom. It's a scary place to be. For somebody who's going in there because they might get thrown out of their home, or trying for the first time to deal with a domestic violence issue, or some of the other resources that people need help with that are basic sustainability, survival resources, legal assistance is an important component.
We give them a voice, we help them keep their homes, or we help them, prevent homelessness, and ultimately that's better for everyone in the community.
I tried to get relocated to another department, told me sorry, can't do anything for you. So I kind of just had my back against the wall. It takes away from of what a man's supposed to do, provide for his family. I guess brings you down on a personal level, and kind of makes you question what you're doing as a father, as a husband, what you did wrong, what you could do better. So it's just a lot of those emotions on top of the financial struggles. So it's just a very, very stressful situation.
In a Commonwealth, there's a philosophical belief and understanding of a extremely deep connection to each other, and that you're not just responsible for yourself and your family, but you're responsible for the community and for others. And you do this partly as a matter of humanity, partly as a matter of, for many people, it's embedded in their faith, their religious faith. But it's also that you don't know when you and your family or your business or your community may be in the situation that they need help from someone else. And so you pay it forward.
I think it's important for everybody to help their neighbor and to make sure that their neighbor doesn't fall through the cracks, frankly. And you often hear quotes from the Martin Luther King Franklin Memorial that talks about the test of a nation is really on how it treats its people, and the test of a community is how we treat each other.
Even though a lot of the work that we do could be defined as social justice, helping homeless people get shelter, helping victims of domestic violence, helping people access health care, those are all the things that we do. But when you start talking about getting a lawyer for a poor person, then people tend to shut down. But when you start talking about the impact of having a lawyer and how it helps people access health care, helps people access housing, helps battered women get on that road to safety, then people are engaged.
The growing gap between what it costs to process a legal case and people's resources is such that being able to go into court to handle a housing matter, to handle a domestic violence matter, to handle access to even government services is harder and harder to do for people.
Investing in legal services also allows us to have the flexibility to be able to make systemic changes that will have an impact on people who don't have access to a lawyer. A donation is great and wonderful, but an investment is critical. We are grateful for the Boston Bar Association Task Force report, which demonstrates that every dollar invested in legal aid returns between $2 and $5 to the Commonwealth or to the community.
MLAC's role is tremendously important. The advocacy they do to make sure the money is there for people so they can have legal representation. And I've been on the end of the phone talking to somebody who's very desperate on the phone because they need an attorney, whatever the issue might be. So it's important that MLAC continues to do what they do and that people continue to work with them to try and put more resources out there for people.
They provide service to people when they have nowhere else to turn, no hope. They provide that hope for you, that justice can be served and that you can potentially walk away feeling like you accomplished something.
If we are able to stop a family or multiple families or thousands of families, if there's a systems change, from getting evicted, if we are able to help victims of domestic violence get back on their feet and provide safety for them and their families, if we are able to get seniors and veterans and low-income mothers with children procure public benefits that enable them to have some basic stability, that's a tremendous investment.
The support that people provide to MLAC and organizations like it basically make it possible for people with dignity to be able to find and get the help that they need.